board? Handshake bird? Okay, so for those of you who do not know, I am a senior at Carrollton School of the Sacred Heart. Go Cyclones! I will be attending the University of Miami next year as a Hammond Scholar. And I am also a Bill Gates Millennium Scholar. That's about it. We're going to start talking about your career platform. So how many of you have watched or watch Being Mary Jane? Yes. How many of you love Being Mary Jane? Yes. I know I do. I think I have watched it like a million times. That's how good it is. So what we want to talk about is the fact that the show brings about a lot of issues that are very close to our lives and obviously close to your life, such as race, feminism, being a woman working in a very male-dominated workforce, independence, family, and the importance of self-love, because that's the important. So, we know that it was created by Mara Brock-Akil. It debuted July of 2013 during the summer with the movie. If you haven't watched it, you really should watch it in order to start the seasons. And you were recently just named the executive producer for season 3. So what we would like to know is, now that you have become the executive producer, what does it mean to have the added power and responsibility of the show's content?
The biggest thing is not to take people's livelihoods for granted. Not to kind of poo-poo the idea that what you do has a direct effect on the people that you work with and how they're able to feed their families. That is first and foremost. And as for content, not every idea that our creative team comes up with, I am thrilled about. And so I have a little bit more control in terms of direction of the show. And also, for those of you who've seen the show, Mary Jane is sexually active. She's grown, she's out of the house, she's in her 40s, she enjoys sex. How those scenes are shot, I took a lot more control over that. In projects past, I definitely did not have control over that, and it can feel very exploitive. That's probably the nicest way I can put it. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like art. It doesn't feel like I'm being creative. It just feels icky. So going into this season, I wanted to make sure not only was I protected, the other women that on my show are protected, and the men are protected. There was a scene where the camera was, the gentleman that Mary Jane was involved in, was going to put himself in a very unfortunate situation that I doubt he would want his mother to see. And so I had to take the time and break down the shot, and I don't know if I would have felt comfortable enough to do that had I not also been an executive producer. So yeah, like little things like that. But right now, Mara Brock-Akil has moved on. Her and her husband have a deal over at Warner Brothers, so I had to take it upon myself. We partnered with Will Packer, who's come on as one of our executives, to do an exhaustive search to find a new showrunner. And showrunners basically run the show. It's very self-explanatory. But they are the creator, they are executive producer, and they're also the head writer. So finding the perfect showrunner to take over a show that has been pretty successful, going into its 4th season was an incredibly challenging task. We just literally last night closed on my dream showrunner. I was pressured to let's just find somebody and go back to work. And I was like, what's the point of going back to work if the words aren't right? If it's not right, let's not rush it. So I got a lot of confidence from our cast and crew, who has not been paid in almost a year, to trust that I was doing hopefully what was best for the show and everybody, and ultimately to create more and more seasons so we can help take care of our families for a very, very long time. So Erica Shelton is our new showrunner. She just came off of a tremendous amount of success on The Good Wife. She's an amazing Black woman. She's dope, and I'm over the moon. So
that's very exciting, and I'm really excited to see season 4. So we also want to know how much of Mary Jane, I know you kind of mentioned this a little bit, so how much of Mary Jane is really Gabrielle Union?
That's a good question. And people assume they are one and the same. Some of her life situations are similar to some of my life situations. But how I handle things and how Mary Jane handles things, sometimes I like to think of her as my alter ego. The person who says and does all the things that you're like, oh, I wish I would have said that. But, you know, we're raised to be more polite and, you know, conscientious of other people's feelings. She has no filter. I have a lot of filters, especially if you see my Snapchat. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely understand where she's coming from. I wouldn't necessarily handle everything the same way as she does.
Okay. That's it for the career platform.